I believe there's something powerful that happens when you decide to live with intention. Life will always pull you in different directions, but if you don't have a plan, you'll end up reacting to whatever comes instead of creating the life you were meant to live. That's why I want to encourage you to think about the next 90 days of your life, not the next 10 years, not even the next year, but the next 3 months. You see, 90 days is long enough to make a significant change, but short enough to stay focused. When you give yourself a clear plan, you take control of your future. Instead of waiting for someday, you start building momentum now. Maybe you've been saying, oh, one day I'll get healthier, or one day I'll start that business, or one day I'll spend more time with my family. But here's the truth. One day is not on the calendar. You have to turn one day into day one. Imagine if for the next 90 days, you woke up with a clear purpose every single morning. You knew exactly what you were working toward. You had measurable steps you could take each day. You'd start to see progress, and that progress would build your confidence. Before you know it, you'd be living at a higher level, thinking bigger, and walking into opportunities you never thought possible. Now, this isn't about perfection. It's about direction. You might miss a day, you might face challenges, but the beauty of a 90-day plan is that it keeps you on track. When you have a vision, setbacks become speed bumps, not roadblocks. And when you look back at the end of those 90 days, you'll be amazed at what God has helped you accomplish. Don't underestimate what can happen in a short period of focused effort. In 90 days, you can form new habits, break old ones, deepen relationships, and position yourself for blessings that are already on their way. You just have to make the choice to start today. Your future is too important to leave it to chance. Put your plan in place, take the first step, and watch how doors start opening in ways you never imagined. When you have a dream, a vision, or even just a desire to improve some part of your life, it's so easy to keep it tucked away in the someday folder of your mind. You tell yourself, someday I'll get around to it. Or, when the time is right, I'll start. But here's the thing, life will never hand you the perfect time. The calendar will never suddenly free itself of obligations. There will always be bills to pay, people to care for, responsibilities to handle. Waiting for the right moment is often just a subtle way of letting fear or procrastination hold you back. That's why creating a 90-day plan is so powerful. It moves your goal from being a vague intention to a tangible, active pursuit. Instead of letting it live in your imagination, you give it structure, deadlines, and purpose. A 90-day plan tells your mind, we're not waiting anymore, this is happening now. When you have that kind of clarity, you start to live differently. You wake up each day with a reason to get out of bed, a sense of excitement about what's ahead, and the satisfaction of knowing that every step you take is leading somewhere meaningful. This isn't about overwhelming yourself with massive change all at once. 90 days is short enough to feel manageable, but long enough to create visible, lasting results. You can tell yourself, for the next 3 months, I'm giving this my all. And it won't feel impossible. It becomes a focused season of growth, a sprint towards something that matters deeply to you. Without a 90-day plan, you risk spending your days reacting to whatever comes your way instead of intentionally moving toward the life you want. You get busy but not necessarily productive. You feel tired but not fulfilled. But when you have that plan, every action is connected to a purpose. Even the small things, a phone call, a book you read, a walk you take, are tied to your larger vision. That builds momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward even on days when motivation feels low. It also changes the way you handle challenges. Without a plan, obstacles can feel like full stops, reasons to put your dream back on the shelf. But with a 90-day plan, you see them differently. They're just part of the journey, temporary delays rather than permanent detours. You adjust, you keep going, and you don't lose sight of where you're headed. And here's something remarkable. When you start working a 90-day plan, people around you begin to notice. They see your consistency, your determination, your new sense of direction. Some will be inspired to join you. Others might question or doubt you, but that's okay. You're not living for their approval. You're living to fulfill the purpose that's been placed in your heart. That kind of focus attracts opportunities, resources, and connections you didn't even see coming. The truth is, someday is a thief. It steals your energy, your potential, and your precious time. But when you trade someday for today and set a clear 90-day plan, you reclaim your power. You prove to yourself that you're capable of taking consistent action, of following through, of creating real change. And once you've done it for one goal, you can do it again and again. You're building a life that reflects your deepest values and dreams. So decide what you want to accomplish in the 90 days. Break it into steps, mark your progress, and watch how those 3 months can transform not only your circumstances, but also the way you see yourself and what's possible for your future. When you commit to a short-term, intentional effort, something shifts inside you. You begin to realize that success is not built on one grand gesture or a single breakthrough moment, but on steady, daily actions that build on each other. A 90-day plan gives you a defined window of time where you can put your energy, focus, and heart into a specific direction without getting overwhelmed by the thought of an entire lifetime of change. It's like planting a seed and deciding that for the next 3 months, you're going to water it every single day, protect it from the weeds, and give it the sunlight it needs. At first, you might not see much happening. The early days can feel slow, almost like nothing's working. But beneath the surface, roots are growing, foundations are being laid, and your consistency is setting the stage for visible results. Every step you take builds momentum. Maybe you're working toward better health, and each day's workout makes the next one a little easier. Maybe you're saving money and every deposit into your account strengthens your discipline. Maybe you're writing a book and every page you finish makes the story feel more alive. Whatever your goal, each intentional action is a brick in the structure you're building. And here's the beauty of momentum. Once it starts rolling, it becomes harder to stop. You'll notice that the more progress you make, the more you want to keep going. It becomes a cycle of growth. Small wins create motivation. Motivation fuels more action, and more action leads to bigger wins. This is why a 90-day plan is so effective. It's long enough for you to experience this momentum firsthand, but short enough that the finish line is always in sight. You're not telling yourself, I have years to figure this out, which can lead to procrastination. You're saying, I have 90 days to see what I can accomplish, and that urgency sharpens your focus. Along the way, your confidence grows. You start to believe not only in the goal, but in your ability to achieve it. Each day that you stick to your plan reinforces the truth that you are capable of discipline, resilience, and follow through. And that confidence doesn't just stay with the one goal you're working on. It spills over into other areas of your life. You begin to dream bigger because you've proven to yourself that you can start and finish something worthwhile. Of course, there will be days when it feels like you're not making enough progress or when life throws unexpected challenges your way. But the beauty of intentional effort is that it teaches you to focus on what you control. You can't control every outcome, but you can't control your actions today. And if you keep showing up, those actions will add up. One skip day won't ruin your progress if you get back on track the next day. Over time, you'll see how those small, consistent choices lead to transformation. Think about the difference between drifting through 90 days without a clear plan and attacking those same 90 days with a focused, intentional mindset. In one scenario, you reach the end of the 3 months and wonder where the time went. In the other, you reach the end with a sense of accomplishment, knowing you've taken measurable steps towards something that matters deeply to you. That's the difference momentum makes. It turns time into progress and progress into possibility. And once you've experienced that kind of momentum, you'll never want to go back to living without it. You'll realize that big dreams don't require big leaps. They require daily steps taken with purpose over a consistent period of time. That's what a 90-day plan gives you, the structure to take those steps and the time frame to feel their impact. When you decide on a 90-day plan, you're not just setting goals, you're also preparing for the reality that life will test your commitment. Challenges will come. There will be days when you feel tired, when unexpected problems show up, when your motivation dips. Without a clear plan, these moments can easily derail you. You might put your goal aside just for a while, and before you know it, weeks have passed and your progress has stalled. But with a 90-day plan, you see those challenges for what they really are. Temporary setbacks, not permanent endings. You already know where you're going, so when obstacles appear, you simply adjust your route and keep moving forward. This mindset is crucial because too many people give up at the first sign of resistance. They think, maybe this isn't meant to be, when in reality, the difficulty is just part of the journey. A plan gives you an anchor. It keeps you steady when emotions or circumstances try to pull you off course. It reminds you of why you started in the first place and what's waiting for you on the other side of persistence. Every time you push through a challenge instead of quitting, you grow stronger. Your confidence increases because you see firsthand that you can handle more than you thought. This resilience will carry you through not just the 90 days, but every goal you pursue in the future. You start to realize that obstacles are not the enemy. That sharpen your skills, test your patience, and prepare you for the bigger opportunities ahead. In fact, sometimes the very challenge that seemed like it was blocking your way turns out to be the thing that strengthens you the most. And because a 90-day plan has a clear end point, you have a reason to keep pushing even when things get tough. You can tell yourself, I only need to stay committed for this season. I can rest later, but right now I'm finishing what I started. Sense of urgency keeps you from drifting away when the process gets uncomfortable. Another advantage is that a plan allows you to measure your progress even during the hard times. When everything feels like it's going wrong, you can look back at your plan and see how far you've actually come. This perspective keeps you from making decisions based solely on frustration in the moment. Instead of quitting, you recalibrate, refocus, and keep going. And here's something important. Overcoming challenges within a 90-day framework builds trust with yourself. You prove that you can follow through on your word. You stop being someone who just talks about what they want to do and become someone who actually does it. That shift in identity is life-changing. You stop fearing obstacles because you've learned how to navigate them. You know that a setback is simply a setup for a comeback. When you reach the end of your 90 days, the accomplishment won't just be about the goal you achieved. It will be about the person you became in the process, more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. And that's something no challenge can take away from you.